rolling.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1049, April 4th, 2023. 81 degrees on this day in 1921. They had a real streak going in 1921. 5 degrees in 1995. On this day in 1957, 7 inches of snow. And I have ice outs, which I will proceed by reading an email from a fellow in Dallas. Paul, until the knotheads, unlike the knotheads that share your airwaves, I find ice out reports provide a better example how weather is random and is the same as it always has been. Ice out is not a single day like a temperature record. In order to melt the ice, it requires a sustained trend. For early ice outs, that means a relatively warm winter and or early spring. In GL's case, GL's summer. For those ice outs later in April and May, that means that we had a prolonged cold winter that created a thick ice sheet, which takes longer to melt. Chevy Suburbans were driving on White Bear Sunday, by the way. I see you, rookie.
Really?
I see you. When you are
CD
reporting,
I can look at.
when you are reporting the ice out for a specific day, they seem to be spread out over the 100-plus years. 100 years isn't what it used to be.
That's right. That's right. I learned that yesterday.
Which provides more proof of what we believe. Weather is what it is, and there is nothing we can do to change it. Please continue to report them until there are no more to report. Paul Petrozewski, GL South, Dallas, Texas chapter of the Royal Order of 21st Years. Thank you, Paul. I feel the same way. They're a comforting and corroborative effort to rest my case on your climate problem.
Wow. Hey, Oswald, I don't remember asking, okay? Zip it.
The ice outs for Minnetonka on this day, 1860, 1942, 1966.
1860? They were keeping them then?
That's right, John. We had them as early as 1858.
Sounds fake to me.
1973, 1990, White Bear Lake, 1929, 1930, 1973, and 1990.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor.
I have a question for Reavers here.
Yes, sir.
Reavers keeps track of this sort of thing. Historically, looking back on the run of the GL podcast, do our numbers dip during ice out season? Do we drop down to like maybe 5,000 downloads a month from
typically
a million and a half?
Is you can always see the thing that's neat about the podcast is you can tell how long someone listens.
Let me
you
tell
can
you
tell.
something.
But I do notice that the fast forward function is used this time of the year.
I don't know why you're so
Still talking.
I don't know why you're so stubborn about ice out dates. They're fascinating.
I don't mind them.
They're
If you're from
fascinating.
Dallas, Texas, they are.
No, they tell you
Paul.
exactly what I've been trying to tell you. I'm going to stay on the climate then, just to maybe pee you off.
In fact, you know what's a neat function that we've explored before when you listen back to the podcast? And I did this a couple of times driving to and from. The speed up function, or the slow down where we all sound drunk AF.
Or we sound like chipmunks.
Yeah.
Right.
And what's great about ice out season, it's followed by his bushes in the backyard.
Lilacs.
In the
That's
bloom.
coming.
Yeah,
That's
lilacs.
I got an eye on that. I got an eye on
You
that.
can smell it.
Although I'm very worried. Very worried. All the lilacs, the bark has been stripped to where it's just white.
No.
But the deer haven't eaten the lilacs for the last 20 years. Why are they eating it now? If, in fact, that's deer.
Climate change.
Tough winter.
They got a lot of lilacs in Tennessee, I'll tell you that.
I did the sense winds on the California snowpack, which is extraordinary in replenishing the reservoirs. And if the euphorians who've run the state for too many years would have built reservoirs, they'd have no water problems. But they don't. They're building a high rail train to San Francisco and what have you. They could have built reservoirs. Mount Baker's ski area holds the record, according to NOAA. 95 feet of snow was recorded there. 95 feet. during the July 1st, 1998 to June 30, 1999 snow season. And then this is the Weather Channel. And unnecessarily, they tell me that snow total is equal to the height of 9 to 10 basketball goals stacked on top of each other, or 14 million boxes of paper clips, or Olympic-sized swimming pools. I hate when they use that stupid... In 1997, a reported 77 inches of snow measured in 24 hours. This is the country's records. Silver Lake, Colorado, April 14th to 15th, 1921. Okay. 63 feet of snow in a single day.
Wow.
At an elevation of 10,000 feet in the Colorado Rockies. This is the NOAA. It's not your favorite talk show host.
Okay.
In 1997, 77 inches of snow in 24 hours at Montague, New York. Submitted for review by NOAA to see if the Silver Lake record was defeated. A committee reviewed the report and determined the Silver Lake record should remain after finding that proper climatological guidelines were not used to measure the snow in Montague.
Okay.
All right, and then you keep turning the pages here and you learn that Thompson Pass, Alaska, holds the record for the most snow in a 2 or 3 day period, according to NOAA. Just over 10 feet of snow was measured there in 2 days, ending 10 feet. That's nothing. Holds the record for the most snow in, well, whatever. That was 1955. Thompson Pass is east of Valdez. That's one of the snowiest cities in America. For the lower 48, the official records are held by Northern California's Mount Shasta Ski Bowl in Feb of 1959. That location had totals of 103 and 135 inches over 2 and 3 day periods, according to NOAA. And that record snowfall at Mount Shasta was part of a storm total that piled up 189 inches of snow over 7 days, Feb 13 to 1959. That's the highest known amount of snow from a single storm in the U.S. All right. So what's happening now has happened before. Tamarack, California, holds the record for the most snow in a calendar month, with 32 and a half feet in January of 1911.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Holy snow.
That's twice the average snowfall during the entire winter. That's twice the average snowfall during an entire winter in the very snowy area of Marquette, Michigan. Tamarack is high in the Sierras. It makes an ideal location to intercept copious amounts of moisture provided by an active storm track off the Pacific Ocean. Gee whiz, that storm track was active in 1911. Oof. But you turn on your nightly news in 2023 and you're told that you are the result of this active weather track. That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tamarack, California also holds the U.S. record for the greatest snow depth ever measured. A maximum snow depth of 37 and a half feet was recorded there on March 11th, 1911. And then I'm done telling you about this because I thought it was just fascinating. Everything we're experiencing. Now, I can do the sense winds on tornadoes, but I'm going to spare you today because you're getting on the nightly news the intimation, of course, that the tornadoes hitting Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky, Tennessee are the result of climate change. Okay. No.
Are man-made somehow in one way, shape, or form?
Tornadoes have been on the ground a lot longer than tornadoes have been on the ground currently. And you'd have to go back to the early part of the 20th century, if not the 19th century. I can do that for you if you want.
No. Sure. Okay. I believe you.
And we'll stay on climate because you're all running around out there like chickens with your head cut off trying to buy an electric car. All right, here's the latest. I got this news from Jordy, and then we verified it. For many electric vehicles, there is no way to repair or assess even a slightly damaged battery pack after accidents, forcing insurance companies to write off cars with very few miles on them, leading to higher premiums and undercutting gains from going electric. John Heidt, will you please pick that up for me?
Yeah, and now those battery packs are piling up in scrap yards in some countries, a previously unreported and expensive gap in what was supposed to be a, quote, circular economy.
Wow.
And your source is?
It's Reuters. It's
Right,
a Reuters story.
Right.
And I picked up basically right after the paragraph you read. Matthew Avery is a research director at automotive risk intelligence company Thatcham Research. He said, we're buying electric cars for sustainability reasons, but an EV is not very sustainable. You got to throw the battery away after a minor collision. The battery packs can cost tens of thousands of dollars, represent up to 50% of an EV's price tag. That makes it very uneconomical to replace them.
I wouldn't own one if you gave me one. I really wouldn't. They're government cars to start with. I'm disappointed in the manufacturers for taking that bait. And now we learn, in addition to all of the other oddities associated with EVs, they're fast, they're quiet, and they're fast. But in addition to all the other oddities, we're now learning that even I would imagine not in all cases, John, but even a minor accident can result in an insurance company having to dump the car. What the hell?
This story also adds that some of the U.S., like Ford Motor and General Motors, are making the battery packs easier to repair because they're trying to fix this problem.
Right.
Tesla, though, apparently has gone the opposite way. They have what is known by the fellas who fix them as, quote, zero repairability. So if you get in an accident with your Tesla, you're
and I wonder how major the accident. This says minor accidents.
yes.
And why should they be getting in accidents?
basically.
Because a Tesla can drive itself.
But it also includes Nissan, Hyundai,
Well,
Stellantis,
they're all making electric.
BMW, Renault. Well,
Good Lord, you're really going to pay a high premium to display your virtue, aren't you?
yeah.
Yep.
Really amazing. It's amazing. Let's stay with it. They're doing their best to drive us to it, drive us to them. A surprise production cut by OPEC members is expected to pump up gas prices just ahead of the summer driving season.
Like that.
Phil Flynn, a senior analyst at Price Futures Group and Fox Business News contributor, said the cuts of up to 1.15 million barrels per day could cause gas prices to rise by 26 cents. As of Monday, regular gasoline averaged roughly $3.50, according to AAA. If Flynn's prediction holds, it could mean gasoline prices will climb above $4 a gallon as summer nears.
Fudge.
U.S. oil prices soared above $80 per barrel on the developments. Police video shows an officer and a bystander rescue a man from. Oh, that's the caption to
Yep.
a picture that
Hang
didn't
on.
appear when I printed this.
Try the back.
Minus the move from OPEC, Flynn noted that prices will increase between 10 and 15 cents anyway when refineries change their gasoline blend during the summer driving season. We'll see some expanded refinery capacity in a few months, but if I were a motorist, I'd prepare for the worst and hope for the best, Flynn said. This comes at a time when consumers are being hammered by high inflation, which rose 6% year over year in Feb. Further complicating matters, though, is hurricane season, less than 60 days away, which could disrupt oil production and drive up the price of gas even more, according to Lippau Oil Associate President Andy Lippau. A major storm making landfall along the Gulf Coast, where 15% of the nation's oil production and over 45% of the nation's refinery capacity is located, can result in a significant supply disruption, sending prices even higher. Oh, I am so saddened by this. I mean, I'm serious. I'm so saddened that we don't have an administration capable of taking care of us or wishing to or concerned with us.
Yeah.
We should be leading the world as we have traditionally in the production of oil and gasoline. That's the way most people get around. And we're led by fools who are paying homage to a distant prayer that they think has become their theology, which is the climate. And the climate is perfectly capable of taking care of itself. And in the meantime, those of us paying the bills for this country are watching it disintegrate before our very eyes. And it's a shame. It's just a shame.
Yeah, Saudis can be mostly to blame for this recent rise.
And Russia's joining them, by the way.
And China happens to be the largest oil importer and the most important customer, but they've had a zero COVID lockdown that they're trying to come out of. So what they do could change things. And, of course, demand in the United States could change things.
Mm-hmm. It's just a shame. Yesterday, the president was in town. How massive has the presidential motorcade become?
Massive.
I got a note from Howard who...
Was it more than 6 cars?
No, you didn't.
No. Oh, no, I didn't. You're right, Chris. I did not.
Somebody else, a stranger?
Never mind.
Fred?
GLers, you need to know your audience when you're sending the old mayor an email.
Yeah.
Shouty caps right away. Put the shouty caps right away. Attention.
Big
Not
clown
me.
button.
Yeah.
He did say don't use my name.
Right.
But I'm okay because I haven't read the email.
You didn't read the email.
But I believe he was reporting in some capacity the size of the motorcade.
He was.
And it's just Chevy Suburban after Chevy Suburban.
All EVs?
And then, you got the Beast, his
Yep.
limo.
Yep.
You got the Beast, and then you got the fake Beast.
Yep.
The decoy.
You got to have the decoy
He's
Beast.
going like this. Hey,
How far apart do they need to run?
Then you got the airplane that flew him in.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So,
Are you talking about Trump?
yeah, no, he flew his private plane to New York.
That's right.
He has left Trump Tower moments ago.
This is such a bleep show. Oh, God help us.
I was reading from Yahoo.
This will go, I predict this. If he's found guilty of whatever, there's 34 charges. If he's found guilty, it'll take another year or two to find out anything. This is
will take
ridiculous.
forever.
You'll be a day late paying your property taxes.
Right.
You're getting fined and going to jail.
Right.
This is going to take years. It's
By
already
the time
taken
that-
2 years.
Yeah, but by the time the trial and everything and
Yeah.
whatever appeals he has, et cetera, he could be elected president in 2024 by then.
So,
Seriously. before
and
it
this
happens.
has nothing to do with his post-election blues, right? This all has to do with Stormy, correct?
Well,
Correct. These
that's
charges are
among the
sworn.
charges.
Yeah, and allegedly some money stuff too.
And the crime would be that he allegedly used the campaign money to pay her off. He had Cohen use campaign money, then he reimbursed Cohen, who I presume did not restore it to the campaign because Cohen's already gone to jail.
Is this an old-fashioned witch hunt?
That's what he wants you to believe, and maybe we'll find that out. But whatever it is, it's going to take another year or 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, it'll take forever to get.
According to Yahoo News, they just did a story on this. Network showed live footage of the empty gate of his Florida residence and golf club Mar-a-Lago. Then they cut to aerial footage of the motorcade taking him to the airport, followed as his private plane was parked on the runway in Palm Beach, and then it took off and landed in New York.
We're aware of that.
Right, but what their point is, they're reminding for filing hours worth of airtime with almost nothing to report beyond the images, speculating and reminding viewers they should not speculate.
Let me say one more thing about Trump.
Wait,
So
what?
nothing.
Maybe I can say the final thing about Trump. Yeah. And, if you want to write me your foul emails, that's fine. I don't think he's an evil guy. I've come to a new conclusion.
Okay, hang on. I have my ears right now.
No, John, settle down.
Simon Bar Sinister.
I think he is a seriously ill guy. I'm convinced that something happened to him at the age of 7 or 8 that so scarred him.
the feelings of his father.
That so scarred him that he developed that awkward personality trait of he can't be wrong. He just can't be. No matter what, he can't be wrong. No matter what. If he shot somebody and you watched him do it, he'd say, I didn't do that. He's ill. He's ill.
But
I'm convinced he's ill.
But he's not capable enough. He's not capable of claiming mental illness.
Of course not. And there's no one around him capable of throwing him in a rubber room
Brad Aloni's hard work.
and getting to the bottom of this.
I see Chris's face, so I'll just hit my mute button at this point.
Oh, what the hell? I can say what I want to say, and I think he's ill.
Absolutely.
There's you've never dealt with a personality like this in the presidency?
Oh,
Ever.
the presidency? No.
Oh, right. Not presidency.
Never
I was about to chime in there, but Matthew covered it for me.
Lower levels of politics,
I got it,
maybe,
Kenny.
Yeah, maybe a
governor
fake
or mayor,
mayor,
you know,
fake
right?
mayor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lower level of politics, maybe, but not the presidency. You're right.
No.
Oh, you.
I'm not arguing with you.
call me you.
But
telling you why
Matthew,
you're
Who's the
wrong.
apostle that turned?
No, that was
Judas?
Judas.
Yeah, you just
Judas,
sold
yeah.
me for some silver,
Got
didn't you?
30
But
pieces,
Matthew,
baby. What can?
in our case, we chime up and we call the fake mayor, blank word idiot, right to his face.
And then I take it, don't
Straighten up and fly right.
Yeah, sometimes
Straighten
you
up.
do.
I? Okay.
Fly right.
He can't take it.
He can't. And maybe that is part of his, not excusing it, that's just fact. He just might be mentally ill.
I think he's nuts.
Who's
before-
nuts?
D's nuts.
D's.
Okay, thank you.
Before you do your ad, Howard is a member of the town council.
Yeah.
And Howard said, and that's why I copied you on the email, Reavers.
You know what?
Because Such almost blew it.
From now on, Howard should send them directly to Chris, and Chris can get out his government magic marker and redact
can
all
redact.
the.
Right
here.
Yeah,
You can
start
redact.
redacting.
We need a big stamp. A big red stamp that we just have to boom, hit it right on the-
Redacted.
Rook, I know you will, but if all of you GLers want to do yourself a favor, you got to get the Grundhofer's double smoked ham for Easter.
Oh, yeah.
It is hands down the most gratifying ham you'll ever taste. It sets records for selling Easter hams. You got to act quick.
You do have to get there early.
You got to call them. Call 651-426-2800. Reserve your double smoked Easter ham. You can visit either the Hugo store on Highway 61 or the Forest Lake store on Highway 97, just east of 35. Grundhofer's Old Fashioned Meats. And while you're there, load up on all of the other great. Grundhofer's beef is Minnesota grown. It's beef for Minnesota farmers. The 140 flavors of brats, the town ball meatloaf, the rookie burgers, but I'm missing a lot. There's any
there's a
kind
menu.
of meat you want.
That's why you go online to
kinda
find
like,
out.
You know what I like? Pork shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
yeah, you can
that
get a good
becomes
pork shoulder.
tender, falls
Yes.
apart on the fork.
If
meat.
you know how to prepare
Well,
it properly,
I'm not
and
saying
Spencer
I'd
can
cook
help you
it.
with
I'm
that.
just saying I'd buy it and then have somebody maybe cook it.
Yeah.
But we're glad Spencer's back with us because Grundhofer's Old Fashioned Meats has become a part of Garage Logic. He's been getting Garage Logicians in almost since we went on the air in 2018. He was with us, and we're glad that Spencer is back. But get the Easter ham. Your people will thank you for it. Call 651-426-2800 and order your double smoked ham for Easter from Grundhofer's Old Fashioned Meats.
Hey GLers, it's Reavers here, and you've heard me talk about my relationship with Josh Arnold for quite some time now. And the reason I advocate that you give Josh a call is simple. Well, actually, it's two reasons: trust and results. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions. As he says, past results do not guarantee future returns. While that is true, Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. And you can trust Josh to make sure that you are not paying more in fees than you are selling in returns. Yes, that is more common than you would think. So do yourself a favor by booking a 48-minute free consultation that has absolutely no obligation. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. You will be glad you did.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
I'm
not
a funk soul brother.
What does this button do?
I think we're back. Thanks, Chris. You helped me out there.
This guy wears many hats.
Forgot to get
just
water.
not indoors. Joe
Too
Souchere.
busy talking.
You guys getting snow down there today?
Not yet, Kenny.
Is this ever going to end? Someday when it stops snowing and it gets warm and your lawn emerges again, you're going to want the best lawn in the block. And if you feel that way, you've got to go with professionalturf.com. And if you're looking to landscape that track or maximize your outdoor living space this summer, ProTurf has that covered for you too. They're going to work with you to design your own special landscape project. They do that using digital photography, imaging software, so you can see how it looks before they even put a shovel in the ground. It's pretty cool. And ProTurf specializes in everything outdoor related: trees, shrubs, perennials, beds, rock and sod. They also do concrete pavers, stone patios, fire pits, water fountains, whatever you want. They can do it all for you at professionalturf.com. The best lawn in the neighborhood and an amazing outdoor environment. You can see all their work at professionalturf.com.
My favorite Three Stooges scene ever.
Now, we were talking about this on the break for those that aren't part of the
where
town
they
council.
take Curly and hold him upside down over the back of a rowboat to make him into an outboard motor.
Right.
That's why I thought that was
And
fantastic.
he does the...
Yep.
And they go speed off.
Former state senator Dave Osmick has been doing the Lord's work since August 24th, 2022, when he began his campaign on behalf of garage logicians everywhere to get something at the state fair named for Marjorie Johnson. He now writes, I have left a dozen voicemails for Jerry Hammer at the state fair board. It is obvious he is ducking me.
It's not like him normally.
There are a couple of things we can do. I can ask a sitting senator to try, or you could give Jerry a call, or unleash the GLers. The phone number is public, and it is a taxpayer-paid employee. I would think if 100 calls hit this guy, maybe he would listen and actually do something. Sorry, that's all I have. Dave. He's been trying, and I can't imagine Hammer Time would ignore this.
No, especially on his way out. I know he's busy, and that would be a great way to go out and to bring in the new general manager to the state fair. I would say not barrage him. I will reach out to him via text and talk.
I will too.
Okay, and we'll just say, take Dave's call. Take Senator's call.
And
Senator Dave's call.
don't the five of us know somebody on the board that might have a little influence with the state fair?
You mean that you owe money to?
Is she still?
I thought she was.
That I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Friends of the Fair, I believe.
I agree, Matt. It's always easier to take the gentle approach, firm but gentle, instead of flogging them with angry emails
Hammer
and calls.
Time is not worthy of our ire.
No.
Right, I agree.
No.
Isn't this a bit surprising to all of you like it is to me? Why is this even up for debate?
That is true. I am puzzled.
Because Minnesota loves nothing more than celebrating Minnesota.
But
and who's
remember-
more Minnesota than Marjorie?
Nobody.
This is not a critique of the Minnesota State Fair, but it is plain fact. There are so many policies and procedures that they follow. So even just trying to get into the fair is difficult, but trying to name something, I would imagine, has got layers in there. I know. And I'm not excusing the fair.
Do we have the clip of her and Sharon Jones?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
God, that was the highlight of my career.
We have it.
Sharon Jones is looking at her going, what in the F-bomb is
And how
happening
great
right
a
now?
sport.
Hi, Marjorie.
was Sharon Jones.
Now, Marjorie, we have a special guest. You are the first guest, of course, because that's tradition.
That's tradition, yeah.
But you tell me when you're ready, Rook. Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings are at the Leinenkugel stage tonight. Bring up Sharon Jones, please. She had to arrive early. Oh, yeah. Hi, Sharon.
How much I love her music.
Good. Now, Angie will help you with a headset.
It's me. Open the door. I thought you left. What you doing back here?
Oh, yeah.
And you made her sing along with her own record.
Who's Lee,
Weirdo.
Sharon?
That's Lee Fields.
That was priceless.
Take it down. Sharon, I'm really thrilled to meet you. This is Marjorie
Hi.
Johnson.
Marjorie, how you doing?
I'm doing real good, right, yeah.
Marjorie's a champion baker at the state fair.
Okay.
But Sharon, you are a champion funk, blues, whatever this is. What is it? It is
Soul,
fantastic.
We call it soul, funk, R&B.
And you're from Augusta, Georgia.
I was born in Augusta, but I've been raised in New York.
Right? You didn't pay any attention to James Brown when you were a kid,
Oh, yes,
did you?
I did. I paid a lot of attention to James Brown.
Yeah. What is this one of those 30-year overnight successes?
No, it took more like 52 years of success.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I think things started happening to me like 12 years ago, really.
Okay.
I had to hit 40 to,
Did you put the Dap Kings together?
Well, actually, the Dap Kings was sort of together in 12 years ago as the soul providers.
Oh, okay.
And that's when Lee Fields came in. So I came in to do background for him.
Right.
And I ended up now being the head leader of the.
Will the Dap Kings be with you tonight?
Yes, they will.
Now, did they also work with Amy Winehouse?
They was the one that worked with Amy. I didn't work with Amy.
No, you don't want to work with Amy. You got your own thing.
Yeah. But I think Amy said I inspired her a lot.
Really?
Just coming up with this new funk and R&B stuff. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is this your first time in Minnesota?
Yes, it is. It's beautiful. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had a little hog on the log thing over there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, what kind of set will you do tonight?
Well, hey, our set.
Yeah?
It's just a funky set. That's what I call a little funky. If y'all there, make sure you got some dancing shoes.
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
You have some more, Sharon, to give people an example. We play your music on the show all the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. You might do this.
This is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
You can sing along if you want to.
You just hard to lip sync.
You know this song, Marjorie?
I don't think she know that one.
No.
Listen to her, Marjorie. She's going to start singing.
Okay.
Just like a bird, baby. Just like a bird.
Just listen, Marjorie. Oh, yeah. Oh, Sharon, you are so good.
I can feel it.
You like that, Marjorie?
Yeah, that's
Isn't
not
that
bad.
nice?
No, yeah. So much of it sounds just like a lot of noise. It really does.
No,
clarify
that.
She said mine doesn't sound like a lot of noise.
No,
Thank you,
that sounds nice.
We
yeah.
try to make good music. That's
Right,
music that you can pop
that
your
is,
fingers
right.
in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We do it. We just play them for bumps. Marjorie's been on Jay Leno and all over the place.
I didn't make Jay Leno, but I did make David Letterman.
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
Conan O'Brien. Yes.
Yeah.
Conan had me back twice.
Really?
Oh, boy.
Will you start playing bigger arenas?
We have already started playing a lot
Okay.
of bigger arenas.
Yeah.
I did Central Park Sunday.
Oh,
my
that
goodness.
would have been fantastic.
It was the last of the season,
Right.
summer job, and it
Right.
was like 6,000 people there.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you now on an endless tour?
Well, this one is. I've been on a tour since October.
Right.
The 6th, since the album came out, since I
Okay.
did the Apollo. But this week we just here doing the fair tonight,
Right.
tomorrow,
Right.
and then we're leaving to go to San Francisco to do the old Oakland, another outside festival.
Okay.
So yes, we've been doing festivals.
But home is in New York, not Augusta.
No, home is in New York. I left Augusta when I was like 3 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Daptones Records that's doing the
Yes.
doing the
Daptone.
albums? Daptones.
Daptone.
Right.
Yeah, see.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, we knew you were in a hurry. We wanted to get you
Well,
on
thank
quickly,
you.
and I know many GLers will be staying around tonight.
All right, y'all.
You're
Stay
going to
on.
go on at 8:30.
8:30.
Yeah, and you'll play for at least 3 or 4 hours.
No, well, no.
Yeah.
At least an hour, maybe. Whatever. How long the festival allow?
Do you have a family, Sharon?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
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 I mean, husband, kids.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah. I told you about my mother, my sister.
No, I figured you had a mother and father at some point.
No, I guess the music, kept me out here. It's hard to find a husband when you're on the road a lot.
Right. Right. Can you play something else, Rook? As long as we have the Queen herself here.
I'm so embarrassed.
Oh, please,
man, oh,
please,
man.
Please. Aretha's got nothing on you.
Makes my heart melt like butter.
Uh-huh.
Some love makes you helpless. Some love makes you strong.
Oh, you like that one, Marjorie?
Yeah, that's nice, too. Yeah.
And some love makes you do right. And some love makes you do wrong.
She's singing now.
Just show us what it'll be like tonight. Just stand up. Just show. Just show. Sharon, you don't know how in love with you I
I'm
am.
only 4'11", y'all.
Second to Marjorie, I love
Yeah,
you.
right.
I carry myself tall, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is it. But I have a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah.
I run around
Yeah.
the stage a lot, so I don't want to be standing there like this going,
No. No.
I be into it, Oh, baby.
Oh.
Like singing, like, I put all that stuff in it,
Yeah.
How about this preview? How about this preview? Here we go. Let's do this one again.
All right. He just wants to see Sharon move. Yeah.
This is right. Yeah, baby.
Now, this story is about how long I had to deal with a relationship that was in my life.
All right.
And I think I dealt with that relationship a little bit too long. And so
How
this
long?
tune came up.
Yeah.
How long do I have to wait for you?
Right.
Before a girl like me just can move on.
Right.
How long do I have to wait for you, honey? Before a girl like me can move on.
did you make up the song or rap?
You know what? She's spilling out her heart, Marjorie.
Marjorie, she's crying about a broken relationship.
But I want to know if she wrote it.
No, actually, you know who wrote this song? My bass player. I went to my bass player, Bosco, Gabriel Rose.
Yeah.
And I was like, this relationship, I was telling him about the guy and how he was doing. He was
then
like,
he wrote a special.
He wrote a song for me. He said,
wonderful.
what? Next time you think about this guy here, and you can go sing it so I can sing it. And,
That's great. That's great. Yeah.
She's getting sick of it. That's okay. We'll switch to a different song here.
And is Lee with the group?
Well, actually, Lee feels he's comes in and do some more recording. Hopefully, like he'll be on the next album.
Right.
But he comes with us every once in a while and do a song. And if we have a big festival like at the Apollo,
right?
Him and I did a dedication to James Brown.
Okay.
And we split Man's World. You got to hear my version of Man's World. I love it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Al Green?
I didn't get to meet Al Green, but the guys, my horn players,
right,
are on his album. A few months ago, and I went in to do a song, but I don't think he chose that song to be on his album.
Okay.
And but I didn't meet him. I'll get to meet him hopefully. I met Mavis Staples, Solomon Burke.
Oh yeah.
I got to meet Mr. James Brown before he passed away.
When's the next album?
When we
in
finish
the fall?
touring, we figure by the time.
Fall, yeah.
Well, no, just say by next year, hopefully.
Oh yeah, all right.
When we go in, probably September, October, November, December,
Will that be number 3?
Number 4.
Number 4.
Number
All
four.
right.
Yeah.
You two girls hit it off, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Right.
Right, yeah.
I'm
You're not so tall either, are you?
I know. I'm like 4.
It just occurred to me you're both the
But
same
Marjorie, I
height.
carry myself tall, though. I carry myself tall. That's what you have to do.
I try to, yeah.
When you walk in a room, your head is jump, like you're gonna hit your head on the ceiling.
Now Sharon was teaching Marjorie how to sing, and this is what we recorded in the back.
All right. This is
Marjorie's singing backup.
She said, what?
Well, I'm pretty good.
A man like that man
Oh yeah.
don't like no correction.
Who's your drummer, Sharon?
My drummer's Homer Steinweiss.
Homer Steinweiss.
Yeah, we call him Funky Foot.
All right. And now, if I have seen Amy in concert on TV, is that Homer I'm seeing?
Yeah, one of the ones with the guy with the little curly hair.
Yeah.
They showed her,
Who are the guys that do the moves that don't play instruments? Your guys.
My guys.
Yeah.
The trumpet players and stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah, that's Dave Guy, Neil Sugarman, and Ian Hendrickson Smith.
Okay.
Those are my horn section.
All New York guys?
Yeah, they all from New York. They're born somewhere else, but a lot of us live in New York.
Yeah.
New York based.
All right. Sharon, I can't thank you enough for stopping
Thank you.
by.
Thank
We look
you.
forward. Sharon Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Marjorie and Sharon. Who would have ever thought we'd have Marjorie and Sharon Jones on the same stage?
Let's see. I'll get down. Let me see.
Let's see. We're going to measure height here.
Not too bad.
That is, that's uncanny.
The closest you've ever been, Marjorie.
You need help, Marjorie?
No, I got up.
All right.
What year?
Sharon,
was
I
this
love you. You're
show?
the best. Thank you very much.
Here's what I went back. While that was on, I tried to go back and see when she was at the fair, but all I could find is 2014 she was at the State Theater, but that was April, so that would not have been the year.
I'm thinking it was about 2015.
No, it was way before that.
Really?
Because Angie was still on the show.
You're right.
And I was running
passed.
the board back at the radio station.
And we've lost Sharon.
Yeah, she passed in 16.
Oh, then it was probably 12.
09 or 10, that's what
It's
I
in the
think.
show.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll look in the show notes during Johnny Height's
That
news.
might have been the greatest moment in State Fair history.
It's
Forget
my
Garage
favorite.
Logic history.
Here's the deal.
It's
Here's
my
what
favorite,
here's what two great parts to that were. Marjorie with her yeah, but then singing backup, Marjorie, I'm pretty good. Marjorie was engaged. Sharon was a great sport. She's
Sharon
a
was
big
cool.
star.
Sharon was
and she
cool.
was, she engaged and she played, and her guard seemed to be down. She didn't seem to be a big star on the stage having to do this state fair.
She was wonderful.
Yeah.
2011, fellas.
2011.
He was at the State Fair in
My
2011.
God, where's the time gone?
Wow.
We should think about retirement.
Wow.
Hang on. Not yet.
I'll see you later.
Not yet.
Wow.
Joe was going to
Wait,
work through
you know
getting
what?
his kids through high school, mine through high school, and I think Gabe's going to have to repeat just so we can stay in high school.
What were you going to say, John?
I lied. 2008.
Yeah, I was going to
Not
say,
2011.
I didn't think it was 11
2008.
because it was before that. Because I remember running the board back at the station because you guys were at the fair.
Wasn't
Minnesota State Fair?
Wasn't 2008 the year the show was filmed at the fair?
I believe so.
Do you think that's on film?
The DVD of that?
The DVD of
Look, I have that.
I got it right here.
See, did we list if Marjorie and Sharon were on that DVD?
There's a DVD of that?
You know what? It's 2007. The DVD.
The DVD?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's 2007.
All right.
Time does fly by, doesn't it,
Yeah.
Joe?
Do you want me to tell you something?
I wonder if any of the GLers that were there have a copy of that on their phone or whatever.
I bet they do. Say, veering course here. I want to remind you of creating an estate plan.
That's right.
You know, you don't want to leave Marjorie and Sharon confused.
Sharon Jones probably had a good estate plan.
When you leave, you got to have the estate plan. Let Eckberg Lammers take care of this for you. Great law firm. They've been creating estate plans for more than 70 years. And all it is a document that does three things for you and your family. You might not be there,
right?
But you're doing this for your family. You're going to avoid court, minimize taxes, and control your wishes. Do you really want this government involved in your life after everything we've discussed?
No, not during or after.
So you're going to avoid court, minimize taxes, control your wishes with an estate plan. It helps you enjoy a peace of mind. It minimizes stress and expense tomorrow. I don't care how old you are. You don't have to wait till you're old to do this. Do this at any time. They'll help you with property disputes within the family, questions regarding children, snowbirds. You might have tax questions. They'll take care of that. But the important thing to do is remember that if you leave a great mess behind, that's just going to be a real hassle for your loved ones. So create an estate plan with Eckberg Lammers. You won't regret it. And again, you don't have to worry about the size of your estate, and you don't have to worry about how old you are. We all want to avoid court, minimize taxes, and control our wishes. Call Eckberg Lammers for an appointment at 651-439-2878 or visit Eckberg Lammers at eckberglammers.com.
Minnesota Masonic Charities, right here in the Twin Cities, is very involved in the community. So much so that they're promoting a wonderful event, the 7th annual Dave Weiss Memorial Sporting Clays Shoot. Again, it is going to be a wonderful event, and you can check out more information if you want. Write down this number. I'll give you the number in about 30 seconds. What it is, though, it helps. It's at the Minnesota Horse and Hunt Club, April 29th this year. It's on GL's birthday, by the way. And Minnesota Masonic Charities has a wonderful, wonderful role in here. Special competition just for the Masonic Lodge. Details are when you get this number, 612-790-5561. That's how you can get all the details, signing up, etc. Minnesota Masonic Charities supports this event, and it's presented by Clay Camps for Kids, Twin Cities, to benefit Shriners Healthcare Camps and the U of M Masonic Children's Hospital, two very important places where kids go to get better. 612-790-5561, or if you want more info about Minnesota Masonic Charities, go to mnmasoniccharities.org.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
52 years and counting in Monticello as a family-owned and operated multi-line dealer, bringing us the very best in outdoor recreational vehicle fun. Of course, we're talking Moon Motorsports. And if you ride dirt and trail bikes, and you probably already know about the cool mix of models that KTM, Husqvarna, and Gas they offer to us serious riders. Moon Motorsports, fastest growing in KTM, Husky, and Gas, the biggest dealership in Minnesota, and now offering special major savings on many models right now. And for you folks down with the quads and the side-by-sides, Moon just received a new shipment of all the favorite Can-Am off-road machines. Drop in the website, moonmotorsports.com, or better yet, drop into the massive Cathedral to Cylinders They're on the south side of 94, just west of Highway 25 in Monticello. Moon Motorsports are Can-Am, Polaris, Ski-Doo, Honda, Yamaha, dirt, trail, and adventure motorcycle brand leaders. MoonMotorsports.com.
Do you recall last week the term papal bulls came up?
Yes.
And we were confused as to why that would be called a bull. And Bill Stein notes last week the term papal bull came up, causing confusion. Bull comes from the Latin word bulla, which refers to the red seal, wax or lead, used on a papal proclamation. This is where we get the term bulletin.
There you go.
Boy, you learn more here by accident than elsewhere
That also,
by design.
Rook, help me.
Thank
that
you, Deacon.
Also spurred the line, we don't have a cow, but we have a bull.
Bulletin. And also a ray of hope. Hail the flashlight king.
Oh, yes. Hail you.
With all the depressing news in the state, country, and world, I thought I would share a ray of hope or Americana. I am the vice president of a nonprofit called Fishing with Vets. This past weekend, we took 10 vets and guides, all volunteers, to Chamberlain, South Dakota to enjoy a weekend of fellowship and fishing. We cover the food, the lodging, and our guides are all volunteers. As a board, we are 100% volunteer. And this year, we are on track to take over 300 vets fishing in Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, Washington State, Wisconsin, and Lake of the Woods. Jason and Wadena, and he sent me a picture of the vets fishing. So keep that in mind if you're looking to send a buck or two to somebody. It's called, what's he call it? Fishing with Vets.
Clever. Clever. It's right to the point. Right to the point.
Fishing with Vets. Here's John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. This news update brought to you by ProfessionalTurf.com. And I don't want to steal Kenny's ad here, but if you haven't looked at the forecast starting Saturday, we have a couple weeks of daytime highs in the 60s every day. So you're going to get professional turf in there and start a
fantastic. Finally.
We even have a 70. We even have a 70 in the forecast for next week. So
wow, maybe on a Friday.
No, it's I get Wednesday or Thursday.
Darn it!
So, but all 60s though. So professional turf, get them out there, man. They'll make you all look wonderful.
Thank you, John.
Residents in eastern Fillmore County are being asked to check their property and any surveillance equipment they may have to see if a specific vehicle was in the area since March 31st, as police continue a search for a missing woman. According to Winona Police, 26-year-old Madeline Jane Kingsbury was last seen the morning of Friday, March 31st at her home in Winona. She never showed up for work that morning, has not answered any calls or messages from friends and family. In addition, she didn't pick her children up from daycare that afternoon and never showed up or made any other arrangements. Now police say they're looking for where Kingsbury or her vehicle, identified as a 2014 dark blue Chrysler Town & Country, may be or may have traveled. In an update issued Monday, police say a vehicle matching that description was seen traveling from Winona to the eastern part of Fillmore County during the day on March 31st. Winona police specifically looking for info from 8 a.m. on the 31st to 4 p.m. on April 1st. Along Highway 43 in Winona and Fillmore counties. Anyone who has any footage that shows a vehicle matching the description of Kingsbury's van or any signs of suspicious activity or a disturbance is asked to call the Winona Police Department.
Johnny, just it's so odd. I was gonna mention this. I was at work this morning over at IHS at the airport, and one of my coworkers who works on the operations side, it's her friend. It's one of her best friends. And she was down tromping through the swamps earlier this weekend. And I said, we'd love to help out. I'll, mention it. So I appreciate you putting in that newscast, and so does Caitlin.
Sure. And if you would like to see a picture of the young woman, just in case, you can find that at KSTP.com. Their news department.
At KSTP.com?
Yep. Okay. Members of the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, who work at dozens of Cub food stores, are set to vote today on authorizing a strike due to what they call unfair labor practices. The United Food and Commercial Workers Union represents more than 3,000 employees at 33 Cub food locations in Minneapolis and across the West Metro. Union members want higher wages for both full and part-time workers. Leaders from the union say the last time a contract was negotiated was in 2018, and that contract ended on March 4th. That Eagan police officer, remember this story, who was hurt when his squad car was hit by a semi-truck last month?
Yes.
Is now He's now recovering at home. The Eagan Police Department announced Cade Egham was released from the hospital on Sunday. He's expected to make a full recovery, according to the police department. Egham has been with the department for just over a year. He was hit while responding to a report of an unconscious person as he merged into the northbound lanes of Interstate 35E from Pilot Knob Road shortly after 5 in the morning on March 14th. He collided with a northbound semi-truck, sending his squad into the center median. No other injuries were reported in that accident. Anthony Lazzaro will be sentenced by a federal judge later this summer. It was announced yesterday after being convicted of child sex trafficking. On Friday, it took a jury 2 hours to find Lazzaro guilty of 1 count of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of a minor and 5 counts of sex trafficking of a minor. The 32-year-old Lazzaro is scheduled to be sentenced on August 9th. He is facing a minimum of 10 years in prison. He plans to appeal the conviction. Prosecutors argued during the 2-week-long trial that the former GOP donor and strategist used wealth and political connections to lure 5 minor victims to his condo, where he paid them for sex. Lazzaro's arrest caused a big shakeup in the Minnesota Republican Party. The state head of the party, Jennifer Carnahan, resigned because of connections to him. He had done a podcast with Carnahan and been close to her. He also worked for Lacey Johnson, the Republican candidate challenging Representative Ilhan Omar for Minnesota's 5th congressional district last year, was a large donor to Republicans.
The news reports have often said that he lured these women through his political connections. What would that have to do with it? Some 15-year-old girl doesn't know who the governor is. What the hell does that have to do with it?
Well, and some people saying he is Minnesota's Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
That's been used a lot, actually. Yeah.
Epstein's on a much grander... I'm not defending this guy.
No, he's a super creep.
But Epstein's on a much grander scale.
Yeah.
I hope this guy ends up with the lifers right away because he's a real cutie pie, and we all know how he's going to be treated.
He'll be treated kindly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I made that same thought available to folks in my house this morning.
Yep. Right away, day one. Yep.
Well, looky who's here.
Yeah, come on in. What's your name?
Correct.
Ben Dover.
Jesus.
Really? I mean, that's kind of a
No,
that's really old.
Edit.
I stole that scene from Fletch.
There's nothing new
Edit.
about
Right
that.
from Fletch.
Yeah.
Edit.
Please, take that out.
Correct.
No mental ability to edit, is there?
None.
What?
None.
You've been doing this for so long, you know better.
Yeah.
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 Good one.
Yeah.
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 Court records show a Plymouth man has been sentenced for a burglary charge filed against him after a fire at the Uptown Target store earlier this year. Derek Paul Hansen, 43 years old, will serve 3 years of supervised probation, 1 count of third-degree burglary. Hansen had also been charged with 1 count of first-degree arson, but that charge was dropped after a plea deal. In addition to serving probation, Hansen will have $5,000 in restitution. He was also sentenced to serve 67 days at the Hennepin County Workhouse, which was the same amount of time he received credit for. Target announced last month the company had decided to close the Uptown location, adding the decision to close the store isn't something they take lightly. The store is scheduled to close on May 13th.
We've asked this before. Is that one of the mini Targets? The little ones?
I believe so. I haven't verified that yet, though.
I think it is one of the little ones.
Which one is that? What?
Uptown.
Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah, I think it's a mini location. It is.
The big one was on Lake Street, and that's gone right now. Isn't that correct?
No, that's been rebuilt.
Haven't been down there in a while.
A woman has been detained by Russian police as a suspect in the assassination of a prominent Russian war blogger at a St. Petersburg cafe. Well, the Kremlin is alleging that the Ukrainian special services may have been involved in the planning of the bombing, which injured 32 people. Russia's investigative committee, the country's top state criminal investigation agency, said that 26-year-old Darya Trepova was arrested on suspicion of involvement in the killing of Vladlen Tatarsky, the pen name of prominent blogger Maxim Fomin. Tatarsky is known for his support of Russia's invasion of the Ukraine and Russia-backed separatists in Ukraine's Donbas region. Trepova has been described in Russian media as a Russian national and St. Petersburg resident who had been previously detained for taking part in anti-war rallies. Russian media said that Tatarsky was meeting with attendees when a woman presented him with a box containing a small bust of him, which apparently exploded after he set it on a table.
It not only exploded, he was right up close to it, looking, admiring it.
The story on how it played out is right out of a Daniel Silva novel.
Yeah.
Because they were checking everybody and they kept the box at the door. And she introduced herself and everybody and said, I had this bust for you, but they won't let me bring it up.
Yeah.
Seconds later, kaboom.
Yep. We should mention before we go to break, we know Donald Trump is in New York. He already has, he's turned himself in, but we won't know anything until the arraignment, which is scheduled for 1:15 our time. So we don't know about the 3 and 4 charges.
I was monitoring that very thing, John, during your newscast, and Marjorie Taylor Greene has decided to speak.
Oh, good.
She left already. She was only there 5 minutes and took off.
Oh, because this video I just watched was only posted 2 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. She was there very early this morning, about 9 o'clock New York time. And then basically they hooted her out of there.
It's always fun for a few laughs, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of yucks.
Yeah.
We have some more news coming up right after this, including a couple of music deaths that we wanted to cover yesterday and didn't get to. But first, we're going to hear from our pal,
Ben.
Mr. Mikulski. Ben. Go take it, Ben.
Let's go, Ben.
Go ahead, Mr. Dover.
Hey, you're wasting your time.
Rookie here now, don't you swelter? Gonna lay it down for Ray and Welter. If you got a lot of furnace making a funny noise, call the furnace fixer with all the pores. Certified dudes checking all the switches, making it right for all of you. That didn't really work, did it? That didn't work. Okay, I'm just gonna lay it down this way then. Let's go old school. WelterHeating.com. That is WelterHeating.com online. You can make a request for an appointment. Old school, 612-825-6867. Again, I joke about it, but if your furnace is making noise, that could be serious for your home. So trust the professionals who have been around for 100 years and 4 generations. That's Ray and Welter Heating. Furnaces, air conditioning, all sorts of air purification. They've got it all on their website. I don't have enough time to tell you about it here, so I'll say WelterHeating.com. Ja.
K&L Surplus and Ammo is your one-stop shop for all firearms-related products and is the preferred choice among enthusiasts for over 25 years. Why? The pricing. K&L Surplus and Ammo offers some of the best prices in the region. You might find a good sale now and again at a big box store, but K&L always has great pricing. And unlike a lot of other stores, K&L always includes tax in the listed price. K&L Surplus and Ammo is veteran-owned and offers first responder and veteran discounts. K&L is also committed to safety and a licensed FFL retailer. Find out for yourself why K&L Surplus and Ammo has been the choice of gun owners for over 25 years. Go to klgunstore.com. That is klgunstore.com.
And frozen.
Why do we kill the grouper?
Phone in from Boston. Justice and the Suture.
You chuckleheads can think papal if you want, but when I think bull, I think Toro. And when I think Toro, I think Tri-State Bobcat, Lil Canada, Hudson, and Burnsville. A Toro zero-turn mower from Tri-State Bobcat. It's going to make that fancy Pro Turf treated lawn of yours look absolutely amazing. The engines and deck are so powerful. You can just blast back and forth, making really cool patterns on your lawn. Plus, drastically cut your mowing time. Right now, Tri-State Bobcat has the best pricing of the year on select last year's models, both the Time Cutter and the Titan zero-turn mowers, 42 to 60 inches, discounts ranging anywhere from 10 to 20% under the promo pricing. But if you want to plan for next year's space management program, Toro can get you into a Toro snowblower during the spring sale. And we're talking the Toro Power Clear single stage and the Power Max 2-stage snowblowers. Best deals of the year right now on both of those models. For the best pricing of the year, be sure to tell them you're a GLer when you swing into any one of the Tri-State Bobcat locations, Burnsville, Little Canada, and Hudson, and on the web, tristatebobcat.com.
Ruck, before John continues,
yes,
what were you going to share with the class?
He doesn't remember. So, John, go.
Oh.
It was
It's not worth it, I bet.
Yeah, it was.
No, you don't remember it. John, go ahead, please.
What were we talking about?
I have some breaking sports news.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Twins have announced 2 days in advance that they're postponing their home opener on Thursday.
That's a wise idea.
I have a dumb question. Are these guys the real deal this year? What is going on here?
Way too early to say that.
I told you and Patrick a couple of weeks ago that they were going to be good, and of course, Patrick
4-0.
instantly dismissed me.
Well, I'm not dismissing you. I'm saying it's just preposterously
This Buxton character, he steps up to the plate like he's Elvis, man.
Well,
and
how about Gallo?
He delivers.
Yep.
Yeah,
Gallo's got 3 home runs in 2 games.
I saw him playing spring training.
So
How many games is Buxton going to play, though?
Who were they playing yesterday? Marlins?
Miami.
That's right.
Yeah,
Do they just
Miami.
suck?
Yeah, they're not
Because
very good.
That game was over right away.
But the Twins are going to be a good club. They're a playoff team.
Yeah, and I've talked about this. They got a very fine pitching staff for once, so I think
All right.
I'm with Chris.
Could be fun this year.
So the lid lifter got moved to Friday, Johnny?
It got thank you, Chris. It got moved to Friday, yes, because of the weather. We're expecting cold temps Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So now they will play the game on Friday. Friday was supposed to be day off, and it's supposed to be warmer, up to 50 degrees or so. And all the festivities that always surround the home opener, the breakfast on whatever and all that fun stuff, everything moved to Friday.
But same time, 3 o'clock?
Yep. And if you have tickets for obviously Thursday, they'll now be good for Friday.
The high Friday's 51.
Right.
The high Thursday's 39 and sunny, but they're not going to take any chances.
So do they leave those alternate days open just in case?
That's exactly why they do it at this time of year.
That is correct, yes. More news. We wanted to get these in, a couple deaths that we perhaps should mention. Seymour Stein has died. Seymour's not a household name, of course. He is a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and one of the music industry's most successful and most colorful executives. If you're a fan of some groups, you know Seymour's work. He signed the Talking Heads, Madonna, the Ramones, the Pretenders to his own label, which was Sire Records. And he also worked with the Smiths, The Cure, Ice-T, Lou Reed, Seal, Katie Lang, and he's always considered responsible for the Brian Wilson comeback in 1988. Which
Why is John's voice cutting out?
His microphone connection.
It's electronically.
Yeah.
Okay. Stein was a man, he was a man after my own heart. He was known as a walking encyclopedia of 20th century pop and more. He knew all the lyrics, chart positions, and B-sides of pretty much every notable record going back to the 40s. Chrissy Heidt of the Pretenders said he knows all the lyrics to every song you've ever heard. He started his career in the late 50s working for King Records. That was the label of James Brown and Little Willie John. After numerous jobs in the music industry, he co-started the Sire Records label in the early 70s. The label championed punk rock and other bands into the 80s. In the late 80s, he helped convince Brian Wilson to make his 1988 self-titled solo album that helped catapult Brian Wilson back into the pucks of view. Stein was 80 years old. His cause of death was cancer.
He was generally regarded with high favor, right, John? I mean, he made these
Very
musicians some money, right? He was legit and the real deal.
Yes, I actually saw a post from Chrissy Heidt where she said basically one of the finest men you could meet in this business.
Nice.
Yeah. Keith Reed, whose impressionistic lyrics for the band Procol Harum helped make them popular, has died. His death in a hospital was announced by the band, which said he had been receiving treatment for cancer for the past several years. During its heyday in the late 60s and 70s, Procol Harum stood out as musically ambitious, as demonstrated by its 1972 album Procol Harum Live in concert with the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Generally, here's how it worked. Reed would submit lyrics to Gary Brooker, who was the pianist and primary songwriter. Sometimes the band's guitarist, he'd say the guitarist, of course, was Robin
Stop
Trower.
a minute, John. Stop a minute.
Yes, sir.
Fix the damn thing.
There's nothing to fix.
It's his connection.
Here,
Well,
John.
screw something in.
What is
It's
going
not his
on?
mic. It's not his mic. It's the connection.
I really wish I remembered.
Is it
what
the
I wanted to
weather,
say.
I wonder?
Blame the
Stormy?
line.
Yeah, it's stormy up there.
Windy?
No, I want John to get into this because this is one of the most fascinating guys ever. He didn't play an instrument and he didn't sing.
No, but he was at every gig.
Why does
At every gig. Showed up for all the gigs. He said he liked to show up for the gig because he didn't want to sit at home writing. He thought there were too many distractions. He'd rather sit in the hotel and write. So he'd go to all the gigs with the band. The results of such focus: Whiter Shade of Pale, the first single off the band's debut album. The song, which hit number 1 on the British charts, number 5 in the U.S., sold around 10 million copies worldwide. And of course, it endured long after the 60s. In the 80s, it was used in lots of movies, including The Big Chill and New York Stories. The song's fanciful lyrics, sometimes made fun of by folks. According to Reed, though, they were just his take on a girl leaves boy story. They're set to a chord progression with echoes of Bach, rendered by Fisher's organ and sung by Gary Brooker in his raspy voice.
Pretty cool song.
That's one of Paul McCartney's favorite songs
Is it
ever.
really?
I read an interview with McCartney once, yeah. Reed said he felt lost after the band broke up in 1977. He moved to New York, where he started a management company and wrote songs for other artists, including Annie Lennox, Willie Nelson, Heidt, and others. He would eventually turn the focus to his own talent by what he called the Keith Reed Project, which had guest vocalists like Southside Johnny and John Waite. Reed was 73 years old, so he was pretty young when he started.
Yeah,
obviously.
How old are you, Joe? Never mind.
You're so mean. So mean. All kinds of chaos and controversy in the Tennessee legislature. Tennessee Republican lawmakers took the first steps yesterday to expel 3 Democratic members from the House for their role in a recent gun control protest at the state capitol. The extraordinarily rare move resulted in a chaotic and fiery confrontation between lawmakers and supporters opposing the move. Resolutions have been filed against Reps Gloria Johnson, Justin Jones, and Justin Pearson after they led chants from the House floor with supporters in the gallery last Thursday. The resolution declared the 3 had participated in disorderly behavior and did knowingly and intentionally bring disorder and dishonor to the House of Representatives. Despite support from the Republican supermajority, their request sparked outrage among supporters watching in the gallery. Loud jeers led House Speaker Cameron Sexton to demand that they be removed by state troopers. By Monday, Sexton confirmed the 3 lawmakers have been stripped of their committee assignments, said more punishments could be on their way. A few hours later, House Republican Caucus Chairman Jeremy Faison referred to Jones as, quote, a former representative.
Let's do one more story.
Authorities in the Mexican resort of Cancun said Monday they've found 4 dead bodies in the city's hotel zone near the beach. There's no immediate information on the nationalities or identities of the victims. The announcement of the deaths came less than a week, of course, after that U.S. tourist was shot in the leg in the nearby town of Puerto Morales. Prosecutors originally said 3 bodies were found Monday in a lot near one of Cancun's beachside hotels along the Cuculcan Boulevard. They then added a 4th body was found in the undergrowth on the same lot. Prosecutors in the Caribbean coast state of Quintana Roo said 2 suspects had been detained in the killings. They said the deaths were under investigation, but did not give a cause for death. Reuters and AFP reported the 4 victims were all shot to death.
Would this be in what we called Cancun proper, as opposed to the all-inclusive resorts that are farther down the shore?
I have not been there enough to.
I thought it was in the resort
I got people
area.
down there now.
They said it was in the hotel zone, didn't they?
Yeah, but
Hotel
there's one
zone,
in Cancun proper. There is a hotel zone. And then you go down the shore, and there's the big inclusive resorts.
Who were the victims?
Yeah, were they Americans, John?
They didn't identify them, the story said.
Are the Americans out looking for dandy at 2 a.m? Probably.
We don't know that.
All right.
Thank you, John. I'll have to make some calls.
Yeah.
You never got to play a lot of solos.
And now,
with them,
a
but
man who has
How are you?
never had a relationship with a tree.
That's usually when I say
Joe Souchere.
rolling, that means I'm recording.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
It's okay.
Are you guys done?
I think so.
Go,
I'm going
Ken.
to talk about Chris Miller and Aim High Construction. They're booking your spring and summer construction projects right now. They do a heck of a job, a dandy job on all things related to construction. That's both residential and commercial, and they can do it all. By that, I mean, what do you got? Roofing, siding, decks, inside, outside, bathroom, basement. They can turn that cruddy shed next to your pool into a lovely little cabana if you so choose. Get in touch with Chris at Aim High Construction, and do it right away as soon as you can. Get the bid ball rolling and get your project on their schedule because they're very busy. But you've got an inside line here. They always put us GLers first. And keep in mind, when you go with Aim High Construction, this isn't Leroy down the street that's missing 4 fingers. This is the very best. Aim High Construction. You can find them at aimhighconstructionmn.com.
The phenomenon of men being introduced to GL by their wives apparently is not at all uncommon.
Okay.
I got a note from Brian Matura who says, I was recently wearing my GL pullover, and a guy complimented me on it by saying my wife would be proud of your sweatshirt. I said, cool, but then he had the thought that I didn't share with him. Are you a GLer? But he didn't ask the guy that.
I would have.
But the wife would have liked the sweatshirt.
See?
Howard writes, my wife introduced me to GL. We were newcomers to the Twin Cities in 1996, and I immediately got it. Credit where credit is due. My wife was introduced to GL by her sister, who had been listening to you since the very beginning. In fact, one of the first things I heard you do was your interview with Hillary Clinton. Little did you know that you would label her as an asshat in 2016 when she was running against Donald Trump for president. I don't recall labeling her that. That's a Kenny term. I don't think I used that term, Howard. If you're not careful, Howard, I'll read your email. Kathy writes, Joe, I too introduced my husband to GL. In the early days of the show, I had him calculate his CI in case I ever needed to prove my GL status. I was happy to find out he was in the high 60s. Nice. He's aware of GL lingo from everyday conversation with me, not from listening to the podcast. Even so, not long ago, I read aloud a headline in the Strib, and without fail, he said, we don't know that. And I laughed out loud, always pushing back Kathy. So this is not it. Who writes this one? Howard. Oh, that's the one I'm not supposed to read. Whoops. I better set that aside. Kelly writes, I introduced my husband to GL. My dad introduced me to GL via radio. I introduced my husband. You met us at Tattersall. 7 kids and 25 years married. Wow. She introduced the hubby. And Scott, who told us yesterday that an icicle dropped on him out of the clear blue.
Well,
I said it's probably under a tree. Yeah. Well, he sent a picture of where it was, and it was out on the freeway with no trees around. And he notes that it was, he doesn't think it was blue ice because no aircraft were in the vicinity. With all my GL honesty, I have no clue what happened. What I do know is that an icicle came straight down in front of our car and shattered right before our eyes. We live in crazy times, and this is yet another example. All right.
He almost shot his eye out.
It flew off the top of a truck. Either that or it's definitely the government.
Yeah, it's aliens. Only because they come to us. Did Kenny do his thing yet?
Yeah.
Oh, only because they come to us.
Are you okay?
You mean be crabby today? Yeah, he did it. Yeah,
all the way from Marloth Park in Mpumalanga, South Africa, from the Traveling Lymans at worldwidewaftage.com. It was on this day in 1888.
Would you please read their website as Elmer Fudd?
Worldwide Waftage.
Thank you. April 4th.
Worldwide Waftage?
Yeah.
On this day in 1888.
April 4th.
Abram Eifeld, one of the first Jewish people to make a permanent home in Minnesota, died. Boy, that's not much of a note, is it?
So sad.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know Elmer was.
Yeah.
This was not Elmer. This is Jesse Mason. I don't know, but I'm going to get that ant. Remember, I was on the Pink Panther.
Yep.
Hey, Ant.
Yep.
He was the anteater.
Why don't you come to breakfast in my stomach?
Might not need to drive
the
all the way
anteater.
here.
Who was he?
The anteater.
On this day.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm going to get that ant. I saw him at the New York Deli. I'm not kidding.
On this
eating
day.
a knish. Every time I walk into Cecil's, I wait for him to come.
On this day.
Yes.
This day.
In 1890.
Get on with it. We've been waiting a lifetime for freedom. Please, come now.
On this day in 1893, the Minnesota state flag was adopted, just in time to grace a state-sponsored exhibit at the World's Fair in Chicago. It was designed by Arnelia H. Center of Minneapolis. The flag depicts the state seal, rung by a wreath of white lady slippers and surrounded by 19 stars.
I went out to Mancini's on Saturday night to meet Sophia's, her girlfriend James's parents, the Tufts, two prominent attorneys here in the Twin Cities. But so I went home.
I'm not done with this.
And the Ten Commandments was on, and I decided, Reeves, I was gonna gut it out and watch the rest of the show while she went to bed.
That's tough.
Really bad scenery, graphics, acting.
Charlton Heston, the worst actor.
Are you a master builder or a master butcher?
Get your dirty damn hands off me, you bleeping ape.
Yeah.
Surrounded by 19 stars representing Minnesota as the 19th state after the original 13 to be admitted to the Union. The flag was modified on March 18, 1957, when the white flowers were replaced with pink and white lady slippers. I believe the flag remains under controversy, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're still trying to change it, right?
Yeah.
On this day in
What's that whole Pharaoh thing? How did that work?
He was the king.
Got it.
On this day in 1914, Frederick E. Weyerhaeuser, founder of the Timber Dynasty, died in California.
Oh, a rich family.
That's right.
Yep.
At one time, he owned 2 million acres of forest land in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
That's a lot of lumber.
I think, weren't they big donors to the U of M, I believe?
I don't know. Didn't Keeler live in a Weyerhaeuser house on Summit? Wasn't that a Weyerhaeuser house?
I believe it was.
Right. I don't think Garrison lives there
I would
anymore.
only ask you because you were the only one walking around poking your head in the windows while
I never
changing his underwear.
I never did that.
Digging through his garbage.
I never did that. I never did that, and I think he's come to that realization.
Good.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes,
thank you. We
Joe
welcome your
very
return.
happy. Very happy this show is over, Joe.
Wow.
We welcome your return. Say Garage Logic has got a spot, and so do so many other podcasts at PodMN on your smartphone, PodMN on your smartphone. GarageLogic.com is where you can sign up for the town council. And town council people, you really should have paid double today because you got your money's worth today. Town council, if you sign up now, you could possibly get your hands on a Fratelloni Hardware and Garden Center $10 gift certificate. That's a pretty good deal. And that's all signing you up at GarageLogic.com. Flip over to YouTube and subscribe to Garage Logic on the YouTube channel, and you'll be entertained just like you were for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. Otherwise, that's it, folks. That's all, folks.
It is time once again to check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold's back with us once again, and boy, now is the time for you to do the same, especially in these volatile times. So don't delay. Pick up that phone and make that call for that free 48-minute financial consultation by dialing 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. You call that number, you get Josh, and you're always going to get straight talk. You're never going to get sugar-coated advice. And Josh is on the line with us, and boy, where to begin today, Josh? But you would like to touch on oil production, the Fed, jobs, and of course, banks.
We've got a whole array of things to talk about. This past weekend, as I'm sure many of you are aware, several of the OPEC nations said they were going to cut back, and I'd say several of the OPEC nations plus Russia said they were going to cut back oil production 2 million barrels a day starting in May through the end of the year. Most of that is to support prices, but they said demand is starting to fall off. They do want to keep prices up. Rumor has it that the Saudis really want to see $85 a barrel oil. Quite frankly, we're on our way to that price now. The U.S. has now become more subject to the whims of OPEC again than it had been for many, many years. We don't want to point fingers at anybody, but the current push by those in power to limit oil production by increasing and making it more difficult for the permitting process and more regulation has really hurt U.S. energy production. Of course, you could say, Josh, what with climate change, et cetera, and the push for cleaner fuels, we don't need oil nor natural gas. And I said, well, that's really, that's a lot of foresight there. Yes, we do. One of the reasons, which I have touched on for a long time, has been the rise in energy prices has been a major part of inflation. Recently, we had seen the price of oil, actually over the last 9 months, drop from $130 a barrel down below $70 a barrel. That does reduce a lot of the impact of inflation. Many oil producers have saw their stocks, at least this year, come down significantly. Yesterday, there was a very nice bounce in oil stocks. Today, quite the opposite with some profit-taking coming in. I am very light on energy companies, though I would point you to look at some of the energy services companies, including Transocean, RID, Tidewater, and Halliburton, which are definitely needed and do give you some energy exposure. I would also point out to local Northern Oil and Gas, which again will participate in many different projects. I would keep some of these companies on the smaller portion of my portfolio. The same as I would keep banks on the small to none portion of my portfolio, as banks still are going to face some very big issues with a lot more regulation aimed at them, and the fact that their mark-to-market position with their portfolios is not in the best place, not to mention, of course, obtaining credit is going to be a lot more difficult. I have heard some analysts say that banks are currently uninvestable. Well, I have stated that I am not a bank investor. I'll leave that to the likes of Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway. Fed has to like some of the things that have been going on, whether it be the tightening of credit, whether it be the jobs numbers recently, which should help make their decisions about raising interest rates, or at least not zooming them up again. Maybe that helps a little bit easier. Of course, I'm of the opinion that the Fed had overreacted to inflation with their interest rate policy, but you've heard that story before. On the positive, or something to look at in the coming weeks, we start in with earnings reports. Next week, it'll be the banks reporting. And again, this could be market moving, although I am of the opinion that many analysts have already taken down their numbers for banks. I am looking forward, of course, at the end of the month to the reports from favorite Apple, which to me still generates tremendous amounts of cash and does offer, still some upside, although with Apple stock up significantly in the past few months, there could be some profit taking both before and after the earnings report. Because we do like to talk about sports, and I do have a sports-related portfolio that I track, and my friend Pat Royce is a big wrestling fan. Yesterday, Endeavor Corporation, which owns the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Champions, going to buy in an all-cash deal, Worldwide Entertainment for the wrestling, and merge the UFC with the WWF. And that could be very exciting and very entertaining. Yesterday on the announcement, both stocks, Endeavor and Worldwide Entertainment, went down, as is believed by some analysts that Endeavor might be paying too much for Worldwide Entertainment. That one, I'm not so sure. I think it's going to be accretive over time to Endeavor, or what the new company, the merged company, will become when it starts trading later this year. Keep your eyes out. And of course, this is Masters Week, and be plenty of golf plenty of bets on the golf. You might want to take a look at a golf stock, Callaway and Topgolf, market symbol MODG.
Very good advice, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now's the time for you to pick up that phone and make that call for that free 48-minute financial consultation by doing just what I did. Pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608, where you're always going to get straight talk and you're never going to get sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again on Thursday.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.